If you've been following a lot of the training camp news from the Chiefs, you know that the player that's been getting the most hype is Jalen Royals, the rookie wide receiver who the Chiefs took in the 4th round from Utah State, followed by Tyquan Thornton. And as Chiefs fans should be excited, those guys have been doing a lot of the right things in training camp so far, and we'll have to see how they look in preseason games. But there's one player that has honestly not been getting a lot of the attention that they honestly deserve. Up until recently, I've seen the media lately talk a little bit about this player, and that's Noah Gray, the tight end who's behind Travis Kelce on the depth chart, and had a really good season last year. But Noah Gray is quietly having a very good training camp for Kansas City. I would argue that he's gotten involved with the offense just as much as Travis Kelce. And the Chiefs have had 11 training camp practices so far. I've been to a majority of them. I've been to 7 or 8 of them. And let me just say this. If I had never watched football before and I never bothered to look up any of the players and their stats in the past, and me going to all of these training camp practices, if that was my first experience taking in any kind of football, and if I was paying attention to Noah Gray and Travis Kelce closely, I'll be honest, I don't know if I would have been able to figure out who is the starting tight end on the team. That's how much Noah Gray has gotten involved with the Chiefs offense. He's got, like I said, he's gotten involved just as much as Travis Kelce. I don't know what kind of a season statistically Noah Gray is going to have, but I think it is time to see him have that big elevation in his career. I don't know if it's going to happen though, because number one, Travis Kelce's still the featured tight end on this team. Don't get me wrong, he's still the guy there until proven otherwise. But the Chiefs have a lot of speed in that wide receiver room. Obviously, a year ago this time, and this was right before the Hollywood Brown injury, this wide receiver trio of Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy, they were getting a lot of the hype. A lot of Chiefs fans were excited to see what that trio was going to look like, and unfortunately, we never saw it in a game because of all of the injuries. And obviously, as the season went on, Isaiah Pacheco got hurt. Pacheco, Rice, Hollywood, those guys missed a bunch of time last year because of injuries. Now, even then, Noah Gray got involved quite a lot last year. He had his best year statistically. 437 yards, 40 receptions, 49 targets, 5 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns in his career the first 3 years. Last year alone, he had 5. He's taking big steps forward. And something really important about Noah Gray to just note here, when you look at his career numbers, and I'm including regular season and postseason, he's been targeted 153 times, and he's caught 120 of those 153. He's caught 78% of the passes thrown at his direction in the regular season and playoffs. He's only had 5 drops in his career. 3 of them were his rookie season. He had 1 in 22, 1 in 23. Didn't have a single drop last year, which again, that was the year where he got involved the most with the Chiefs. He was targeted had 44 receptions, 52 targets, including the playoffs. The previous set of numbers I gave with receptions and targets, that was regular season only. But when you include the playoffs, 78% of the balls thrown his direction, he catches. Hardly ever drops the football, hardly ever makes a mistake on the field. This is someone that's been very patient too, and he understands that Travis Kelce's the guy at tight end. Even though his numbers haven't been the same in the last couple of years, that's still the featured tight end on this football team. But Noah Gray can still get more involved. This Andy Reid offense, even before Patrick Mahomes took the reins as a starting quarterback on this team, this offense has always been friendly for tight ends, whether it's their number 1 tight end or the number 2 tight end. And I think it's safe to say Noah Gray has probably been the best number 2 tight end we've seen in Kansas City since Andy Reid's been here. I know Demetrius Harris, he had a big drop issue when he was in Kansas City. Still a guy that did get involved quite a bit with the offense for a number 2 tight end. But Noah Gray, I mean, the things that he's doing on this football team while being behind Travis Kelce on the depth chart, and people are noticing too. Let's not forget last year in Buffalo, despite the loss, Patrick Mahomes threw 2 touchdown passes to Noah Gray. And then a week later in that game that came down to the wire in Carolina, he also had another 2 touchdown performance in that game. That was a nice little 2-week stretch he had there. And again, like I mentioned, most receiving yards, most receptions, most touchdowns he's had in his career in a single season. Now, here's what I will say, because I mentioned the wide receivers. Obviously, Jalen Royals, he's been getting a lot of hype, and if he can continue to build off that, he's certainly going to get involved with this offense this year. Where does that lead Noah Gray? Because I mentioned earlier, I don't know statistically what kind of a season he's going to have. I do think that a lot of opposing defenses this year, when they have to worry about Kansas City's offense, there's going to be a primary focus on the speed that this team has. Rashee Rice, I know he only played a couple of games last year, but not only did he elevate his game in a big manner last year, he also looked a little faster too. We know Hollywood Brown has that nice breakaway speed. Obviously, Xavier Worthy has that as well, the guy who broke the record for the fastest 40 time in combine history. Jalen Royals has been showing off a little bit of that. Got a couple of running backs that have good speed as well. But if opposing defenses are focused too much on those receivers, that does open up the door for Noah Gray to get more involved with this Chiefs offense here. Again, I don't know statistically what he's going to do, but I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. Didn't have a single drop last year. And don't forget 2 years ago when the Chiefs led the NFL in drops and receivers left and right dropping passes, so many different wide receivers that were a liability. Noah Gray was one of the very few viable options Mahomes had to throw to during that 2023 season. Oh, by the way, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl that year too, despite having those woes on offense. I know last year didn't end well, but still got to the Super Bowl, still got the number 1 seed despite all the injuries they dealt with last year. I just think Noah Gray, he's ready. This is a guy that's ready and is primed to have a much bigger year. Statistically, you might not see it from him because there are too many guys on this football team that Kansas City is going to use. This 2025 season, I think, for Mahomes, I think is going to be very similar to 2022, where there might not be a clear-cut number 1 wide receiver, though I think Rice, and obviously he's going to have a suspension. We don't know how many games. We don't know when that suspension is going to take place. Rice obviously has the potential to have a 1,000-yard season. But for Noah Gray, I think this is someone who could get 500 receiving yards depending on how many snaps he gets. And I think he should get more involved with the Chiefs offense this year. I'm just looking at him in camp, whether it's 7-on-7, 11-on-11, when the Chiefs are doing red zone drills, Mahomes threw a touchdown pass to Noah Gray. A couple of plays later, got him again in a nice corner route where Gray was kind of all alone there, and Mahomes put it over all of the defenders' heads and made it so where only Noah Gray could make that catch near the corner of the end zone. And again, Noah Gray's been getting involved a lot. I just wonder if the Chiefs utilize him more. This is a guy that could look like a starting tight end in Kansas City. And listen, the day Travis Kelce hangs up the cleats, I mean, that's going to be quite a day for Kansas City. No one wants to see that day, but we're anticipating it to be soon. Now, whether Travis Kelce decides to step away or not after this year, who knows what's going to happen, if he's going to come back to the Chiefs, what the Chiefs want to do. But I think the Chiefs are ready to utilize Noah Gray more. And again, the nice part about this offense, the beauty of this Chiefs offense right now is you have so many weapons, guys who possess great speed, that it could end up being a distraction where some of these wide receivers could end up being decoys. Remember when Tyreek Hill was in Kansas City? Obviously, every defender has to be aware of his speed. He would get double team, triple team sometimes. Now, sometimes you would see Tyreek Hill have really quiet games where he would only have a couple of catches for just a few yards. That doesn't mean Tyreek Hill had a bad game. He just attracted a lot of the attention. So what did Mahomes do? That's when you would get Travis Kelce involved a lot, or Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson, McCole Hardman in years past. And I think when you look at this offense right now, Xavier Worthy, he had that nice little stretch at the end of his rookie year. defenses are going to pay attention to him. They're going to pay attention to Rashee Rice. If Hollywood Brown can stay healthy, that's a guy defenses have to account for. And that's going to put Noah Gray in a spot where he's going to be forgotten about. And surely he's not going to have an issue with that, because that's going to leave him open. And he and Mahomes, I think, are going to have a nice connection. Keep an eye on Noah Gray in his 5th year in the NFL. Had a really slow start. His rookie year gradually started to build up. Last year, I wouldn't say was a season where he came into his own, but he started to get more involved. And I think he's ready to take that next big step in year 5 for the Chiefs.